but I told her, I know you've gone to the bathroom in front of people at the Standard Hotel, but I don't think I want to watch that on the show, Janine.
No, why would we air that? That's ridiculous.
Right,
I think YouTube would come down on you for that.
Pretty much so. Anthony on Air podcast back for another episode. Huge conspiracy theory documentary series coming up on Epstein, and we're exploring this idea again that he's a government informant. We'll dive in. Plus, there's a big story about Hunter Biden today, and not looking great for the Biden administration overall. Would you buy Bill Gates' house, given what is in the house?
His current house.
That story coming up. Well, one of his many houses.
Oh, right.
Macy Gray believes that we should get rid of the American flag. A bartender who saved a young girl down in Miami. It's a heartwarming story. Banksy, Dave Chappelle, and floating green goblin through Times Square. All that and more on this episode of the Anthony on Air podcast. So Peacock, Frank, there's this new documentary series coming up on Peacock called Epstein's Shadow. It's all about Ghislaine Maxwell. I believe it's going to be a 3-part series.
See, I was hoping for a new Epstein documentary.
I know. They're rolling out like 10 of them. It was like remember when those We Switch Bodies movies started coming out every 10 minutes in the 80s? This is what it's like right now.
It's like every day was Freaky Friday.
Well, we're getting this on June 24th. That's Friday. Some advanced copies have been going out, and now the buzz is starting to build again that Epstein was an FBI or government informant, basically going back to the 2008 sweetheart deal that he got under Alex Acosta. They're saying that he was giving information to the FBI in exchange for the sweetheart deal and also staying out of prison altogether, given what he's done. The other thing that this points to that I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about, because it doesn't have much to do with the trafficking, is that they say Epstein was a crucial witness during a trial of 2 Bear Stearns executives who faced allegations of corporate securities fraud during the 2008 crisis. So sort of this new little wrinkle of, put all the trafficking aside for a second, this guy obviously was super involved in the financial world, and what he knew was he giving information there that helped keep him out of prison.
You know, he was obviously a guy who knew a lot of high rolling people. So, and I'm sure with his dirtiness, he knows other dirty people, and if he can get other people.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because the documentary, and again, I've only seen some, I haven't seen the whole thing yet, but from what I've seen, they're kind of alluding to the fact that this idea of she's the actual mastermind or an equal to him. Like, I guess all of our impressions were sort of like he's the kingpin, and when he went, they just got his second in command, i.e. her, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah, I think we assume that because he's the guy.
He was the big, the first fall guy. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that's true. It's just kind of the way it feels.
He's a man. He was a man. She's a woman. You don't expect the woman to be in charge.
Right.
Stupid stereotype, but
true.
That's what we assumed.
Right. So this sort of is kind of pushing that idea of, yes, he has the money, but really outside of Wexner, I always say Lex or less, and I can never remember the Victoria's Secret guy. It's less or less. It doesn't matter. But Wexner was the first sort of guy who gave him money and whatever else, and that it was basically Ghislaine who came in and introduced him to the Clintons and Gates, and like that she was really the one bringing in all these influential people, right, connecting them to him.
It makes me wonder how, after the trial, November it starts, whenever the hell it ends, after that, will all these documentaries and things, will they still, like, how true will they be anymore,
I don't know. I'm not really entirely sure. Shout out to Frank's wife, who just popped in the frame for a second there.
Yep.
I like the hair thing. Tell her she
I think
looks
that
great.
was everybody's first glimpse.
Yeah.
Anthony likes the hair thing. Just a second, just for a second.
But yeah, it's true. We don't know how much it is. And again, like I said, this is just another documentary of all the things that are coming out. But it would play and make sense with the fact that he did get such a slap on the wrist for
Well,
the
nothing
2000.
was over yet, right? He was still in jail.
Yeah, but he was coming and going. He got a year. I mean, he got a year for
That's not
doing a lot of a year in.
would explain that.
Yeah, I mean, but I find it interesting too because you look at, like, for instance, the Whitey Bulger thing. You ever see The Departed?
Yes.
All right, so they took a story and they slapped it in towards this Whitey Bulger story, and basically what was happening there was he was the kingpin in this situation, yet he was giving up other people to the FBI, and basically, like, because for instance, when you watch a movie, there's the crime boss and there are all the underlings, and they're always trying to get the underlings to give up the crime boss to stop the crime thing. But that's a movie. And if it's not so, if you don't have all the information, you don't know who
we don't know.
you could wind up giving that sweetheart deal to the kingpin, which is kind of exactly what happened in Whitey Bulger's instance. He was really sort of running things, or running a lot of things, and he was acting as an informant, giving up other people, pretending like they were the big cats, and the FBI was letting him slide. Meanwhile, behind his back, he's doing all this. He's really driving this crime syndicate. And that's sort of, you can look at that and sort of apply it here, where they don't really know what's going on. The government starting to do the investigation, they get a hold of Epstein, and they give him this sweetheart deal, thinking that he could lead them to whoever, a Ghislaine, Clinton, or Prince Andrew, or God knows what he has available to him. And as it turns out, no, he's the guy, and whatever he's selling them is a pile of BS.
Right. Plus, I mean, they're not going to let him continue what he was doing to be an informant, right?
Well,
For the sakes of being an informant.
No, of course not. Yeah, of course not. But again, I mean, it's hard to know those things, to really know what's happening, unless you've got somebody on 24-hour surveillance.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard.
That's true.
It's hard to kind of like have all that information nailed down. So I don't really know, but I think, as always, a lot of people have a lot of theories about Epstein and who he was really working for. And I don't know if we'll ever really solve that issue, but it is an interesting thing to play around with. And also this idea, especially too, because Ghislaine's whole thing is like, well, they couldn't get him, so they're coming after me, again, going on that assumption that he's the kingpin here. But what if she was? What if all her contacts from her father all these years and whatever, and these two hook up, and she's again the driving force in it all. I know it could look that way because, like you said, woman or whatever, and also the fact that for the most part, all the victims are saying that she was the recruiter.
Right.
For him, makes it look like he's the boss and the one in charge. But maybe that's not necessarily the case. It
sounds like he had all the connections. Like he was talking to Gates and he was talking to other people. And you never hear of I mean, you don't, I guess you hear a little bit of the relationship with Ghislaine, like in the Clintons and whoever else. But you don't hear, all this stuff is like Epstein and this person. All the pictures are Epstein and this person, Epstein and this person. That's why he looks like the leader, kind of.
And again, she's recruiting for him. That's straight from the word from several of the alleged victims. Okay. It makes it look like, obviously when you're, it makes it look like you're the boss and you're the one in charge.
And it's not that they couldn't get Epstein. I mean, he's dead. I mean, I'm sure if he was still alive, they could bury him with the stuff that they got on Maxwell.
Yeah.
I'm sure stuff's going to come out with Ghislaine that in the trial or whenever or through this whole process, that's going to, if Epstein were still alive, would put him in big trouble too.
But also maybe that's the reason why the doesn't survive prison.
Okay.
Maybe that's the reason why they were, because people make a big deal of why didn't they arrest both of them in the same day? Well, maybe he was helping build the case against her.
You think we'll ever know? Like, you think the trial will bring this all to light, or you think this is something?
You want to know the God's honest truth? I feel like everything else we'll know like 50 years down the road. Like it's just going to take a long ass time to
Hmm.
unravel everything, and then you get people that are at the end of their rope that got out without getting caught or whatever. It always seems that people want to admit things on their deathbed or closer to the end when it doesn't matter anymore, when
Right.
they're trying to clear their conscience. That's probably when we're going to start to learn a lot of things.
Yeah, that's a long time. I mean, I think there's stuff. I mean, forget the criminals coming out with whatever they're going to confess, but whatever the law enforcement has on them, it should come out in the trial. No?
Well,
I mean, if they're going to prove some kind of case against Maxwell, they got to spill everything that they got. No?
yes, but that's assuming that they're not off trying to get somebody else. That they're not like, they got this Jean-Luc Brunel guy that they're going after. You know, he's somebody else. I mean,
Yeah, but they can't do anything with Maxwell in prison. I mean, you either got the information or you don't. I mean, what could they? I mean, it's not like Maxwell's out there working for them like as an informant. She's in prison and she can't do any more
yeah,
work.
no,
If she's working for them, she can't anymore.
the only reason why I'm saying that is because, like, my guessing is that if there's a bigger fish to fry, that's the only way that they don't let all the information out.
Oh, I see.
And also, we don't know who, like, we don't know who. You have to assume that there's somebody on the inside workings of the government that knew some stuff and didn't do anything.
I mean, with any big, crime, whatever, like organization, I guess, you got to assume there's at least someone,
Always,
right? I
always.
mean, if the government knows about it, the crime outfits
Hmm.
or whatever, there's got to be an infiltrator somewhere. It's never 100%, right? I got to assume that.
I mean, even if it's not, let's say it's not in the U.S. government and it's in the U.K. government, or vice versa, it doesn't matter.
Whatever.
My example is either one of the governments aren't going to sell out the other government.
No.
They're not going to be like, oh, well, they did like this was the. They're just not going to do it. It's not.
No, but my point is like if there's a crime organization, no matter what the crime is, whatever, if the government knows about it, I feel like step one is get one of your guys in there to
Right.
feed you information. I mean, how could anybody within the crime organization trust anybody else who's new? Oh, all of a sudden, our guys are getting arrested. What happened? Oh, maybe it's the new guy. Nah, it can't be. I trust him too much. It's like maybe look at Leo DiCaprio. I don't know. Shit's been hitting the fans ever since he came aboard. Nah, it can't be him. That was a little. Come on.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. The last two guys in happen to be the.
Right. All of a sudden, everybody's going to jail since these last two guys, whoever the hell they are,
Yeah.
popped in out of nowhere. And I know everybody's gonna beat me up for this, but The Departed, not a huge fan.
Oh, boo. Boo.
Here's why. Spoiler alert.
All right. Spoiler alert.
So I'm with you through the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoyed it. Then, major spoiler alert. At the end, they just kill everybody. It's like I don't know what to do with these guys. I don't know how to wrap up their stories. We'll just kill them all. I feel like if one or two of them got away, I mean, this is not based on anything real. You could have done anything with these characters, and it was literally within 10 minutes everybody was dead, except
Yeah,
Mark
but
Wahlberg. Come on,
yeah.
everybody. Mark Wahlberg and Alec Baldwin. That was it. The only people that survived.
Yeah, but that doesn't bother me. That doesn't make it a bullshit movie to me. That's
No,
fine.
the movie up until then, I was like, all right, great, great. And yeah, you kill maybe a couple people, but they had so much more to do, and I feel like they were running out of time and they needed to end the movie.
Boy, we
So
can
they were
never make
like,
you happy. It wasn't enough killings in The Sopranos. Now it's too many
that's
killings
not
in
my complaint with The
Departed.
Sopranos. That is not my complaint with The Sopranos. My complaint with The Sopranos is it was a week between episodes, and every week it was like one in every 5 episodes was great, and then you sit there for a week and you go, man, I waited a week for this. It was a 45-minute, just crap fest. I was like, ah. And then you got a great episode, and then you're like, all right, keeps me in. And then you sit there and his wife is shopping in Paris, and I just want to shoot myself. And I'm like,
Oh, that was the all-time low of that series,
or
that
he's having a
Paris episode.
40-minute dream that meant nothing. And I'm like,
Oh no,
all
I
right,
like the dream sequences because there's so much stuff built in there. But the Paris shopping
do
was
anything. It was
ridiculous.
didn't move the story at all. Like
Yeah.
we were stuck and we didn't move forward at all. We literally watched 45 minutes of him sleeping.
Are you gonna say all this when we have Martin Scorsese on the podcast?
No, I'm gonna kiss his ass. Kidding me? I'm not rude. I'm not a dick.
All right, is Hunter Biden running a art scam, Frankie C? Interesting
Art scam?
story. Yes. So the ethics chief from the Obama administration over the weekend ripped into Hunter Biden for selling his art at prices ranging up to $500,000 to anonymous buyers.
Okay.
Walter Schaub, the former Office of Government Ethics Director under President Obama, said that the lucrative arrangement has a, quote, shameful and grifty feel to it. The notion of a president's son capitalizing on that relationship by selling art at obviously inflated prices and keeping the public in the dark about who's funneling money to him has a shameful and grifty feel to it. Schaub warned that the anonymity granted to Hunter's clients could allow for influence seekers to funnel money to the Biden family. Now, if you remember, if we rewind 4 years, this was also the complaint about Trump hotels continuing to operate, that you can have somebody, and there was tons of stories out there of people, of hotels being booked up, right? All booked up, sold out, and then you go to the hotel and it's empty.
Well, not only that, anytime Trump, not anytime, but a lot of times when Trump took trips, they stayed at his properties. And who's paying for him to be at those properties? We are paying the Secret Service and everybody to stay on his property. And all that money's going into the Trump organization. So our tax money went into the Trump organization.
And Schaub spotlighted hotels. He said, just as hotel charges and real estate purchases created a risk of unknown parties funneling money to the Trump family for potential unsavory purposes, Hunter Biden's grotesquely inflated art prices create a similar risk of influence seekers funneling money into the Biden family. I agree with both of these on both accounts. The hotel thing was a risky thing, and this is a risky thing too, because not for nothing, but this guy's no Van Gogh, or as I like to say,
he's painting it
with the young kids and me like to say, he's no Banksy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Is it his art? Like he's painting it?
Yeah, it's his art. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, but as a painter, someone who, I know whatever.
Oh, here we go.
No, I'm not defending Hunter or any. I'm just.
Go ahead,
I'm
artist.
saying
No. I want the artist critique because I'm
all
not
I'm saying
creative,
is,
so I don't know.
you put a price tag on something. I mean, he still can make money, right? I mean, it's not like he still can work and do whatever job and make money, can he? It's not nothing to do with going toward the president or his campaign.
Agree.
It's not taxpayer money. He's running his business. If his business is selling his art, can he do that? Or am I reading something? Am I not
On the surface,
following this?
On the surface, you are correct. On the surface, you are correct. But this is also the same person that worked for a energy company. Oh, no, excuse me.
The past
was a consultant for an energy company.
It doesn't look good when you pile it with the other stuff. But
yeah,
if you take it by itself and you say, all right, here's the president's son who's painting and selling his paintings. How does that funnel money? I mean, yeah, he'll take money for selling his paintings, but don't all his family members have jobs outside of the government? Like his son, his daughter has a job, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. They all still work, right? I mean, it's not like they have to stop. Everybody in the Biden family has to stop working.
I get it. That's basically why this is allowed to happen, because you can't tell these people that they can't work. But there's also a difference too in I'm a stockbroker or I'm an accountant to I'm an artist and I'm getting paid pre my dad was president, nobody was buying my shit. In fact, I wasn't even an artist. And now all of a sudden I'm the hottest artist on the planet that I'm making
Is
500.
that the case though? Was nobody buying anything of his?
Have you ever heard of, first of all, and I hate to do this because it's a
I don't know.
shit argument that I'm about to do, but you look at this, because
You're not above shit arguments.
art is in the eye of the beholder, but you take a look at some of this work here. I mean, it's crap. It's crap.
Yeah.
It's horseshit. And you know what the thing too, I'm sorry, I can make it bigger, but there's no point.
I'm sure it's crap.
You know what the thing is? It's like, I mean, there's one where he's like blowing paint onto a page. I mean, not that, and here's my problem with it. It's like, I'm sure there's somebody out there that's been honing that craft for a long time, and somebody could consider this beautiful, but you got here 5 minutes ago, and this is selling for 500 grand. Come on,
it's a lot of money for that. It's not terrible, but it's a lot of money.
Now, if you showed me this, and there was an artist who's been doing this for 25 years, and he's built up a reputation, and he's paid his dues, he's sold his art, like you said, he's been getting higher and higher sales at art shows and things like that, and he's charging 250, 300, I could buy that. I could understand that. But the fact of the matter is these people are either paying for the fact that it's just a name, or they're literally funneling money to this guy illegally, which is not an uncommon thing to do in the art world.
Right, but he has to. It's not like he has to claim all that. I mean, it's not untracked income.
It's not even the point. The point is that who's giving him this money, and what are they getting in return? It's the same argument with the Trump hotels. Who's staying at these hotels? Who is paying $1,000, $1,500 a night, and what are they getting in return?
Well, that's any president. You pick any president, their son. Now, is the son not allowed to do any more business? I don't get, like, how do you, I get that. Let's say my dad was president. Am I not allowed to, like, if I'm a painter, and I've been painting and selling stuff, am I not allowed to continue selling paintings?
I think you are, but I think it's
obviously inflated price. The problems is obviously inflated prices and the anonymity of the buyer. Isn't that?
Yeah.
Well, who is it anonymous to? Everybody, or I'm sure he has to tell someone who's buying it.
I mean, and that's the thing too. You just solve the problem right there. If you want to buy a piece of art and remain anonymous, fine. But in this particular case, when we're dealing with our government, maybe there's an agency that it doesn't have to be released. Like, you don't have to give it to the public, but maybe you have to show such and such an agency, this is who the purchaser is.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think
because
that's a good idea.
If not, shit's just going to continue to go,
But I know, I get it. Their argument would be Hunter Biden's not in government. He's not, doesn't have I mean, his father's the president. I get that.
But exactly. He has access.
He doesn't have a job. I know.
He has access.
I know. And the two things are not supposed to cross paths. The two,
not really.
Business and the government are supposed to be completely separate. Yeah. And for all we know, it is. But it doesn't look good. But for all we know, we don't know.
And this is why this is why I see no purpose in picking a political side, because you look at both of these godforsaken parties, and they're both doing the same shitty stuff, and nothing has changed in the last 30 years, and there's no point in thinking that your side's better than anybody else's.
True.
Crazy.
Agreed. Difference, and this is going to sound like, oh, here comes Frank. No. The difference is when it was the Trumps, it was pretty blatant and obvious and out in the open.
I mean, this is pretty blatant too, though. I mean,
I know stuff not answered here.
I get your point, but this is pretty bad. It's
bad. I'm not saying he's doing something. This is all on the up and up. It could very well be terrible, and he's taking money for whatever. It could be bad, but it's not proven yet. With Trump, they were staying at the government people. When he went down to Mar-a-Lago, we were paying for him to be there, but we were paying Mar-a-Lago, which is his own place. So the tax money that we were giving taxes to the government is going into Trump's family's pocket because Trump was staying at his properties.
Agreed, but that was going to go to somebody else's
Yeah,
thing
which
anyway.
it should.
Yeah.
But it's going into his own pocket. He's basically collecting taxpayers' money to stay at his own property. Come on, that's blatant and out in the open and obvious. We're even trying to hide that.
I get your point. That doesn't bother me as much as who knows who else is putting money into those things and what are they getting, because that was a big criticism of Trump. And even Alex Jones made that criticism of like, you couldn't bribe the president, but all the people around him started opening up their pockets because they knew they had the president's ear and they were taking shit for themselves to get to try and influence the president, which is not a great thing to be doing either, to have being done either.
I don't understand how we've gotten to a point where the government, like, you get your salary and that's it. Why is that? Why can't that be it? You get your salary. No more. You don't get donations. You don't get this. You get your salary, and that's it. You can't have sponsor this and that. If you want like.
Because people are always going to find a way around it. Look at this. This guy, God knows what this guy is taking for these stupid pieces of art. There's always going to be a way around it.
If I become president, people in my at least my immediate family, but probably it should be their businesses have to be monitored. Whatever money comes in, it's got to be accounted for. There's got to be an agency that looks at all the government officials, president or senator or whomever, and tracks. Hey, listen, this is where money's not being funneled in somehow. You get your salary for however long you're in office, for whatever office, and that's it. Why is it I'm going to make millions because the NRA is paying me? And then now all of a sudden I'm pro-gun because the NRA is giving me millions.
Well, I agree. I agree.
That's I feel like that's an easy fix though. We could do that.
Well, the thing is we got it right now. Like let's head it off now. You got this guy who's a racist, nothing against drug addicts that but I mean he's.
No, I'm not a Hunter Biden fan. No, he's not a good guy.
He's a energy consultant one day, a famed artist the next day. Like this is Yeah,
it does not sound good, but that's my point. My point is there should be an organization like you said. There should be a.
Well, Congress has oversight committees. I mean, it's time to start turning these things.
What are they doing?
But they couldn't. They couldn't get the Trump in. They couldn't get the whole. And the thing is usually people divest their stuff out. Like I remember Bush owned the Texas Rangers, and then when he went, he got rid of the Rangers and went on his little run of politics. They couldn't get on the day. I remember the day that they were expecting Trump to get to disavow himself from his business. I know that's not the right term, but you know what I'm saying. He had stacks and stacks of papers about how he just circumvented the system. Same way it's like it's not a law that you have to release your taxes. He circumvented that system, although I believe it is now. You have to do it now, I think.
Oh, I don't know if they did that, but
I think they changed it.
So if he runs again in 2024, he has to release his taxes.
I think so, or they were trying to change it or getting close. I don't know, whatever it is.
Well, that's the thing. There's so much corruption that could be easily. The problem is the people who decide it are the ones that are corrupt.
Yeah. Bill Gates's house. This I found pretty interesting. They have several houses, Bill and Melinda Gates, but their compound in Seattle is a 66,000 square foot home, and it features a trampoline room. So Mansion Global did this story, and their basic point of this story is if they had to, as is common in divorce, you have to sometimes sell the house to split up the assets. Who the hell is going to buy this thing? 66,000 square feet with a friggin' trampoline room.
How much is it going for?
It's not going for anything. Their point is like, here's what we know is in the house. Like they kind of pieced together.
It's not even up for sale. They
not
don't
even
know
up. It's this dream story of like if they had to sell it.
Oh, I'm sure you can convert the trampoline room into whatever the hell you want it.
I mean, it's kind of awesome that he's got a trampoline room when you think about it. I mean, it's kind of stupid, but awesome at the same time.
I mean, you imagine like, hon, I'll be. You need me? I'll be in the trampoline room for the next 20 minutes. It's like, or all my friends are coming over. We'll be in the trampoline room.
Yeah. Bill Gates is giving another speech on how to save the world. Can we call him to? No, he's not available right now. This is bounce time. This is bouncy time.
It's bouncy time, and he's usually pretty tuckered out after that. So we put him right down for his nap.
Can we talk to him after bouncy time? No, he has his juice box and his cookies, and then we put him down for a nap.
He's usually pretty cranky if you disturb this routine. Trampoline room.
They do put an estimate on the house mansion global. You want to take a guess? 66,000 square feet trampoline room.
I'll say 45 mil.
Higher than that.
80 mil.
$130 million is what they estimate. Yeah.
What? Who? What? Who?
Mm-hmm.
Where is this? In California, I'm sure.
Seattle.
Seattle. Okay.
Yeah.
Seattle home. You're not even near California or anything. It's like, I guess that's a put away. Yeah. That's. I mean, 100. What the hell?
If you had Gates money, like what? This is like blank check, Richie Rich. Like, what's the craziest room that you would?
What I come up with?
Yeah.
If I had a blank check, crazy amount of money. That's a good. I'd probably get like a laser tag room. Like I'd build, with the walls and the black light.
I love you, but you're the biggest loser that I know. I mean, it's not even close.
Or paintball. I've never played paintball before, but I've always wanted to, and nobody wants to go with me. But I want to do it. And nobody
wants to. A paintball room?
Maybe a paintball room or some kind of, like, I don't know, because it's fun shit. It's like a big, I don't know. What would you do?
I always had a dream, and this is scary, but I can remember drawing this in grammar school, like drawing levels of a house, or a big, huge building, mansion, whatever you want to call it, but having one entire floor, the entire floor, wall to wall, pool, just pool. And
you open the door and you just step into water.
Well, you can't open a door. You would literally have to slide down a water slide into that level, or and climb out into a ladder.
I'm sure the people who maintain that pool would probably not be happy with that.
Well, yeah, you gotta be, yeah. But I mean, how cool would that be? Like, oh, you want to go to the 4th level? That's the pool. Like, it's just pool.
Yeah, but you want to be able to step out of the pool and dry off. You want a little area that's dry that you could maybe put a chair or a radio or something.
No. Pool.
Bar.
Pool.
A bar.
You still have a bar. You have a wet bar. It's you swim up, nice. Little swim up bar.
It's nice.
Bartenders in the water though on the other side of the.
What about like palm trees, or is it just one big glass room?
One huge big glass room, but I mean, like the staircase. You obviously have the staircase that's going from the floor underneath it to the floor above it. That's not obviously pool.
So it goes from the water up to a dry 5th floor.
Well, you could. I would probably have the next level.
The way it sounds, you're saying wall to wall pool.
Water. Everything.
So there's no dry surface.
You would have like the elevator shaft would be in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like, because obviously you gotta get from one.
But you can't get off at the 4th floor.
No, that would take.
Open the elevator door and jump into the pool.
Well, that'd be impossible.
Why is that?
Because it's filled with water.
Yeah, but why wouldn't the elevator stop right above the water and you just step out into the pool?
That's not a bad idea. Maybe we could.
Are you worried about the elevator shaft getting filled with water?
Also that. Yeah.
Watch out for that.
Yeah. And there would be a bunch of slides like all over the place. It'd be a bar, like TVs.
I guarantee you, in 10 years, you get tired of those slides. Once you're like 50, you'll be like, I can't do these slides anymore.
You get tired of everything, though. I mean, is there anything you don't get tired of? It's seriously.
Kind of true.
Yeah.
Man, if I had my own, I'm trying to think of what the hell else I would do.
I would do a ball pit room too, just the whole floor.
Oh, that's
ball
fun.
Pit. Huge ball pit.
Ball pit room. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Kids would love it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Although you have to get rid of that once your kids get older. If not, you just start to put you in the Epstein category. Be like, why is this old man have
That's
a ball
true.
pit
Yeah.
in his house?
Once your kids are out of ball pit.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not talking about ball pit for yourself. You just jump in there and you're like,
Well, yeah, I would do it too. I mean,
you got to do it.
if Gates can have a trampoline room, I can have a ball pit room.
That's true. I'd definitely have like a movie theater. Like one whole
totally.
floor would be like the screen would be the size of a movie theater screen.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be like a flat screen TV. It would be a huge screen, projection. The seats would be big, comfortable couches. It'd be
See,
like
but here's the thing. I thought about this, and I got a pretty nice little setup going for myself too. If I had like exactly what you were talking about, which I would love to have, I bet you I'd be like, 2 years in, you'd be like, let's go to the actual movies. Like, let's go to the real movies.
No,
Let's
I wouldn't
go out and
want
go to
that.
the movies.
Nope. Because the one thing I hate about going to the movies is other people. I love everything about the movies except sitting around people who are talking, people who
All
are
right.
chewing loudly, and people who are just plain annoying.
Listen to me.
I can't.
I had
sitting
this.
in something gross. Like I can't do it.
I had this thought today. I was in. I
You
was
had a
getting.
thought. Share.
I was getting lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I go to my little deli spot right here by the studio, and I am like, I get on. I went earlier. I like a 2 o'clock lunch. Today I went at 12 because I didn't have breakfast.
late lunch.
I was starving. Yeah, I know. It's weird. I like a 2 o'clock lunch though. So I go and it's obviously busier, and the first thought I had in my mind was, man, 3 weeks ago I could have gone like this and not touched a soul. Like I'm happy to get rid of the mask thing. I'm glad we're going back to normal, but it feels like we were onto something with that 6 feet social distancing that we need
It's
to
not a bad rule.
keep that as law. Like that should be law.
Just for general sanity.
Yeah.
Just for us to be like, dude, 6 feet away from me. That's
Just back back
personal
fuck-
space.
Yeah.
That's it.
Back
It
up.
could be the personal space rule. That's it. Doesn't have to be for COVID.
I get in line, and I got my nice little distance between me and the person in front of me, and then 3 people come in right after me, and they are one on top of the other on top of me, and I'm just like, get the fuck. Like, one thing that I realized throughout this whole process is how much skeeve we're breathing in from other people. Forget
Yeah.
COVID for a second, just general germy
Sneezing into
skeeve.
their hands, touching everything. That's why I never, when I'm on the subway, I don't touch a thing. I rarely sit, and I literally car surf. Like I stand, I don't touch the poles. I try not to lean against anything because I'm standing there, and I literally, one day I'm standing next to this guy. I literally saw him sneeze into his hand and then grab the pole, and I went. That's the one I witnessed. What do I not witness?
What are you not seeing? But I'm with you because I don't like touching things. Like, so I'm with you on that. But then here's the problem. This is the problem with the last year. We got introduced to the word droplets. And that is basically the worst thing. Because remember, and New York people, I feel like, I'm sorry, but we have a little bit more expertise in this. You smell all sorts of crazy shit when you get onto the subway.
Subway's a terrible place.
And you used to think like, oh, that just smells funny. But now I think, if I can smell this, what else is
in the air, man?
going up in there that shouldn't be in there?
What you're smelling, that smell, that odor, is tiny particles of whatever it is.
It's droplets.
It's droplets. It's little. They're going into your nose.
Disgusting.
You're breathing it in.
Disgusting.
The odor is little particles from that thing.
I feel like if masks didn't get politicized the way that they became, if that didn't happen, masks would be a part of everyday society movie. If there wasn't somebody that's like, you have to wear a mask, I feel like all the stubborn asshole people out there, which I'm a stubborn asshole, I can say that, would be like, you know what, it stinks in that part. I'm going to wear this mask when I go to this particular place.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it used to be, before COVID, every now and then walking through the city, you'd see someone wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, that's weird. But now I'm like, That guy had a. He knew
I
what he
feel
was
like
doing.
Subway is automatic mask. Like you just, I feel like again, if it wasn't politicized, everybody would be like masking up, going, I don't want to smell homeless
Because you're on.
piss.
Not only that, you're on top of each other. You're literally,
Ugh.
especially during rush hour in the subways, you're literally up against each other, and it's like you're face to face with
Can
people, and
you
they're
even
breathing
do that
on you.
anymore? Can you? This is why I think offices are having so much, like Google and Apple and all the big, even the financial institutions in the city. This is why I feel like we're having a lot of trouble bringing people back to the office, and why, especially in big cities like New York, Chicago, where you're all on top of each other, is because that transportation. Nobody wants to be in that situation now where they're like this to somebody else.
It's terrible, and even
And
like
it's not about COVID. I mean,
no,
it is, but
started with that.
it started with that. But now it's going to be like, now what? I got to be sick, 4 weeks out of the year because I got to be like this.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it made us just realize there's got to be a better way. This is not the
Yeah,
way we should be traveling. This
there's too
something's
much
missing
skeeve.
here.
Yeah, and now I can't be the now because I like to throw a dirty look at people, especially when they get too close to me. Now it's got all this connotation like on it that I'm like, but it's kind of like just back the fuck up, man. Like
Just stay away from. Just yeah, give me some space. That's
it's a
all.
beautiful thing. Missing
Yeah.
that space. Missing it. Macy Gray calling for the replacement of the, quote, tattered, dated, and divisive American flag.
I don't
Not
know
sure.
why it's divisive.
Well, so here's what
Tattered.
happened.
It's only tattered if you let it get tattered. I don't know. What's
We,
that?
a couple of weeks ago, and we didn't cover this because basically we didn't have time. There were just so many other more important things. But somebody from the New York Times wrote a piece that got caught up in the whole shitstorm of right versus left, where they were basically saying the American flag was adopted by the Trump supporters and thus became this divisive symbol. So that was the interpretation. Now, the New York Times article person said that that's not what she meant. She was just pointing out the fact that they had adopted this flag and not that it had become divisive, whatever. And then it was accusing the left of blaming Trump people for this, blah, 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 whatever it was. Okay, that came and went and nobody gives a shit anymore. But I find it interesting that that controversy popped and now Macy Gray is here basically saying the same thing. She said, and I quote, in a Market Watch editorial that she wrote, quote, the American flag has been hijacked as code for a specific belief. God bless those believers. They can have it. Like the Confederate, it is tattered, dated, divisive, and incorrect. It no longer represents democracy and freedom. It no longer represents all of us. It's not fair to be forced to honor it. It's time for a new flag, end quote. I couldn't disagree with her more.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. The flag has been redesigned a ton of times. Now, the flag, yeah, I understand that the people you don't agree with, and it was at the rally, the American flag, I'm hugging. Yeah, I get, but it's still the American flag, and no matter what, people use it for, it doesn't take away from what it is.
Agree.
I
And
get
also, it's just a symbol. Like
just a symbol.
if you change it, it doesn't really matter because
Exactly. So it's changed many times.
right.
It's changed since its inception. The American flag has taken on many different.
Do you know when the last time it changed?
My guess would be when Alaska and Hawaii were added in the
Yep.
40s,
1959.
59.
Yeah.
What?
You're like the 40s, 1959.
I thought it was the 40s.
Hey, you got closer. I wasn't even close on that, so don't even worry about it.
But hey, listen, if we add Puerto Rico and DC, it's gonna change again.
Yeah.
A couple more stars. Maybe it'll look different. It's changed so many times. So those stars used to be this way, that way. It used to be in a circle. It was. So I'm not against changing it, but why? Now, I saw her idea. I think it was she posted it.
Yeah, so she said that she suggested a new flag with off-white bars and stars that were white alongside ones that were black and brown to reflect America's diversity.
I mean, I'm all for. So if we're gonna change the flag, I'm all for submitting ideas. That's great. The stars, as it stands, does not represent people as much as it represents the states. The
Correct.
colors of the flag have a different meaning as well.
The Smithsonian documents say that the white stripes represent purity and innocence. America is great. It is beautiful, pure. It ain't, she says. It is broken and in pieces. Sounds like she's depressed, if I could be perfectly honest with you.
Could be.
And now by the way though, the stripes represent the 13 colonies. That's why there's 13.
Right.
And why they're red, white, and blue is honestly, I mean, just I guess you could ask Betsy because I think that's what she had handed.
They have meanings. The colors have meanings.
Bullshit. I think Betsy just had a bunch of red, white, and blue shit lying around the old cabin and was like, fuck it, I'll put this together.
I'm telling you, they have meanings.
Okay, here's the thing. Also, so now I disagree with her because it's just a symbol, the flag. It represents all of us. And by the way, I think it's beautiful and what it stands for is beautiful. But I will say I have a growing frustration for flags in general. I think flags stink. Because when you look at all the flags, it's basically like, okay, look at Italy's flag. Like, they're like, I don't know, let's get a red square and a
do they mean anything? Red,
white square and a green square.
What does that mean?
I mean, flags for the most part are shit. They all kind of need an update. Like we have digital, like I have a picture frame that changes every 10 seconds with a new picture of my kid. We kind of need to put that technology into flags.
I feel like a flag, but on the other hand, I feel like a flag should be something that you could easily draw or like as a kid,
I think a flag
memorize.
Should be plugged in and powered and should have sparkly doos.
So you want digital flags that are in motion and
a
3D maybe.
And this is not as an American. This as a tech kind of greedy asshole.
And why does a flag have to have one shape? Why a rectangle? Let's make it a circle flag.
It's always a fucking rectangle. Where are the circle flags? Excellent
triangle
point,
flag. We have all kinds of shapes.
There's lots of shapes.
Lots of shapes out there.
Yeah.
Give me a dodecahedron. Here
Whatever
we go.
the fuck that. Yes.
You're welcome. So now the white signifies purity and innocence. The red, hardiness and valor. And blue signifies vigilance, perseverance, and justice.
Yeah,
there's meaning behind them.
And because it's not race. It's not like the white part is for the white people.
No, they don't represent race.
Yeah.
That's not why they're there.
And I think that although I understand where Macy's coming from, changing it doesn't matter. It still represents all of us.
Yeah,
and
let's say it was an all yellow flag, whatever. It's still going to be, quote, the American flag.
The American flag, exactly.
So it's just people are just gonna lift that up
and that flag represents the biggest asshole piece of shit we got, all the way up to the greatest person that we have, and everybody in between.
Exactly. So, yeah, I understand, and I'm all for if everybody's on board with changing the flag, submit your drawings, whatever style you want, but it's got to be for the right reason. If we're adding states. Where everybody's like, you know what? I think we need to update it, like you said. Maybe it's a little old-fashioned or whatever. You want to do something different? It's got to be, a good reason.
We got to pick it up a little bit. I mean, and I will say, you give credit where credit is due. The American flag actually has some pizzazz to it, but Italy, France, you people are on warning. You have extraordinarily shitty flags that need some updating.
I got to tell you, when I see the American flag, it's a proud, it's a symbol. It's a proud symbol. And listen,
here's the test, Frank. Here's the test.
Go ahead.
If I can recreate your flag with construction paper in under 15 seconds, gotta go. Got to go. Like the American flag, cutting out all those stars, you're talking about a 3-hour operation.
That was always the hardest part.
That's a bitch.
Drawing those in. You always got it, like when you're drawing it as a kid, you don't put 50. You do a few of them.
And here's the thing too, and let me tell you about these Germans. Big deal. So you didn't go this way with your stripes. You went this way. I'm not impressed. Don't act like that's a whole big thing. Look at us. We're different from Italy. We fucking turn it. Stop it. Come up with something new.
The Puerto Rican flag.
I don't even know what that is.
1 star, blue triangle, red, white stripes. It's kind of it's almost like Captain America's armor. Just turned sideways.
I will have to look it up. Like Australia. You took Britain's flag, scrunched it up in the corner, and then put some fucking stars.
Well, it
Is that
makes sense
really
because they're
what
like
you?
an offshoot.
I know, but
I like the British flags.
there's
They're
some
cool.
flag. Believe me, there's some flags out there that need some updating. Macy's not all. She's got a point with that one. Just it's not particularly
Yeah,
ours.
I get that. We're not. America isn't perfect at the moment. I get that, and it's probably never going to be perfect. No country's perfect.
Well,
But I get that. But I feel like the flag isn't the problem.
all right. Here, I'm going to show you three flags. I'm going to give you a breakdown here. Okay. Brazil, great. They got a diamond. They put Uranus in the middle, and then it's green and yellow and blue. I don't know what their obsession is with Uranus, but they're like, fuck it. Let's put it in
It
the middle
looks
of our flag and let it roll.
looks like an Advil.
It's great. Now, Canada, you know I love Canada, Frank. Second
Canada's
favorite
not bad.
country.
No, I like the
It's
leaf.
a it's a fucking leaf in the
You want a
middle of
moose?
a boring ass thing.
I want a Tim Hortons donut on
And
there.
Poland got so tired they were like just two colors. They're like, what about a third? We need a third. Everybody's got a third. They're like, fuck it. I'm tired. I gotta go home.
Yeah, the
We're going
kids are
with two.
waiting.
Yeah.
Red and white. It's over.
I gotta pick up the kids. We gotta go.
We gotta go. I mean, I get your notes. I've got them here written down here, but our first idea with red and white. I think that's it. That we hit a home run there.
Yeah.
Well, we got. It's not an easy. The American flag is a
Again.
complex looking flag. And I
Okay,
like
look
it.
at the Netherlands here in the middle of the screen. How did France not sue them for copyright infringement? I want to
That's a
know.
little. That's a little close.
I want to know.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the Greek flag kind of reminds me of Tetris a little bit,
it's a little Tetrisy. It's a little of the Tetrisy sign.
which is not a bad thing. Tetris would be a good flag.
That would be
Some of
something
those
else.
pieces on there just
Yeah.
floating around. I'll go for a flag of Tetris.
Of course we kid, but there's some funny material in
We
there.
respect all countries and all their flags.
Well,
Some of them. No, we do.
but I will give Macy great credit for like this was a whole shitstorm, and she just comes out a week later being like, "Hey, you know what? This is how I feel." It's kind of like
It's not a bad topic. Why,
No,
it's not a bad idea to bring something like that up. It's totally valid.
it's a great topic, but I just think it's still this shitty left response to Trump. It's like just fucking let it go already. Like get over it.
Yeah, but it's it's a good topic to bring up to refresh things. Like when you hit refresh on your on your emails or something. It's just a nice. I don't know. I think you have to word it better. Hey, I think America is on an upswing. I think we're doing great things. Let's maybe freshen things up a little bit.
I just think
It's the messaging was off. I think.
I think the flag is so great. Again, if we're gonna add new states, Puerto Rico, what was the other one you named?
DC.
DC, Long Island. They've been rumor. All right, move the stars around a little bit. I get it, but I like the whole. We started with 13 bars,
Yeah, no, that's cool. I like the American flag the way it is, but
and
if
the red,
we're-
white, and blue. They're nice colors.
and it's tradition. I like that. But it's if we're adding states, throw some extra stars. Maybe we work it a little. What if it's in the what if the stars are in the middle and all the stripes are around it? Is that not good?
Ooh, no, I kind of like that. We could move that fucker around a little bit.
We take the square out of the corner,
Slap it in the middle.
center. Stripes
You
are
might
all
have something
around.
there.
I don't know. Just an idea. Just
Well,
I'm not saying that we need to change anything, but if the topic comes up,
if
have
we
ideas.
added 2 more stars, where do you gotta reimagine
gotta
all.
readjust. 52 is a tough number.
Yeah.
Like 52 in a deck of cards, 52 cards.
Yeah.
Maybe the whole flag is just all the cards laid out. Ace to king.
There's a bartender in Miami who's really got
There
a
is.
great. There's a couple, right? He's got this great story where he handed this note over to this young lady that basically he gave her a receipt. He made it look like it was like her receipt, and he wrote on the receipt, "If this guy is bothering you, move your ponytail to your other shoulder, and I'll have him remove. He's giving me the creeps." And she did it, and they had the guy removed, and
Nice.
his story went incredibly, incredibly viral. Like 200,000 people were commenting on it like right as soon as it got put out. It just caught a storm.
That's good stuff. I mean, there are bars. I feel like almost every bar is different, but there are codes. Like if you order something specific,
Yeah.
that's a code that the bartender knows that you're either in trouble or you need some kind of help.
Yep.
And I don't know. I would, if you're going
Max
out and you're a little worried,
Gutierrez, this Max Gutierrez is going to get laid, my man. This is, and like she's got his picture out there and everything. He's a good looking guy.
This guy's a superstar now.
He's wearing the Hawaiian shirt down in Miami. Oh yeah.
And that bar, numbers are going up for that bar too.
Totally. 1,000,000,000%.
Yeah.
1,000,000,000%.
But yeah, if you're someone going out and you're a little worried about where you are, maybe you're by yourself for a little bit, you talk to the bartender. Hey, I'm by myself, or I'm with a few girls, or whoever. If you guys, there's codes for guys, there's codes for girls, and you're in some kind of trouble, can I give you a signal? Is there a way to, because there's stuff like that. Bars have that.
Yeah.
So you ask the bartender, you ask the owner, you ask whoever, manager.
Oh, we're losing your audio there, Frankie C. We got a battery issue. All right, we'll give Frankie C a moment here, and this is good because this is the right time to lose Frank because we're talking about my favorite artist, and that's Banksy. And Frank hates Banksy, and I love Banksy. Credit to Jen who sent this over to me. There's going to be a Banksy street art exhibit coming to New York City this summer. It's a one-of-a-kind Banksy exhibition. I am super excited for it. Over 100 genuine and certified artworks, all from Banksy. Go ahead, Frank.
I don't hate Banksy.
Oh, you don't?
What I don't like is there's kind of an obnoxiousness to it, like a.
What? Because it's cool?
No. As Banksy, like there's a little bit of I don't know, like an absurd obnoxiousness to the I'm not going to show my face kind of thing. Prefer to remain anonymous. It's all about the art. It's like, shut up, show your face. Who are you?
I think it's part of the character, though. I don't think it's obnoxious. I think it's part of the character of, it's the art and not the. Well, Sia did the same thing, right? She stopped showing her face.
But she did that for. She wanted to live a private life. This guy's just doing it, I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
This is the craziest statement you've ever made.
It's just a little.
Sia wants to remain private, but Banksy's just a dick.
Yeah. All right, I have no argument. He's probably not a dick. I retract my Banksy's a dick thing. He's not a. I never said he was a dick. It's a little obnoxious, a little, a gimmick. I feel like it's a gimmick. Am I wrong?
Well, I mean, I don't think it started. Here's the thing. When he first started doing it, nobody gave a shit about him, and then he hits. And that was kind of Sia's point. It wasn't just the privacy thing. It was also, nobody gave a shit about her before she wrote a hit for Rihanna. And then all of a sudden now everybody cares about what she looks like. And she was kind of like, fuck you. I'm going to kind of be in the background. And
I could just be a jealous artist. I don't know. I could just be, nobody gives a shit about my art, so.
I love your art,
I'm sure
big man.
Banksy's fine. I've seen his stuff. He's actually.
You hate Banksy, and it's okay. It's not that big of a deal.
Nobody appreciates this thing that you do. That when I say something, you say the opposite, and it's actually what I say was true, but what you say is not. Like the whole, he's homophobic thing. That's not true.
Very
say
cool.
that. I disagree. I'm not homophobic.
Let me go back to last year's tweets.
Go for it. Show them. What do you got?
The Foo Fighters opened up Madison Square Garden, another sure sign that COVID was over, and Dave Chappelle came out to do Radiohead's Creep.
Can we hear any of it or no?
I'll play you a snippet.
Give me a snippet.
It's not that great. It's Chappelle singing
it's Chappelle.
Creep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's not a trained vocalist.
It is not great.
It's fun, though.
Yeah.
So I'm a creep. That's my Chappelle.
That's what I thought he was going to sound like, but he didn't.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
I'm a creep. That's my Chappelle. That's all I can do.
But I think the crowd was just pumped to see him and the Foo Fighters. Like, it's more of those, when you look at a lady, you're like, oh, it's kind of shitty. But when you're there, you're like, this is great.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's Chappelle singing with the Foo Fighters. What do you want? It's not going to be,
Yeah.
top in the charts, but it's gonna be a cool experience. Something you tell people, hey, I saw this live. That's cool.
We're back and COVID's over and, all
And
this.
where was this? What town?
This is at Madison Square Garden. This is
Madison Square Garden.
first show in 460 days
Oof.
at Madison Square Garden since it closed down for the pandemic. And of course, you had douchebags out front that were protesting because it was a vaccinated only show.
Right.
But get your
Hey.
fucking vaccine.
You know what? It's their show. They could tell you not. They want people.
Oh, but
vaccinated.
you had to see the people. Oh, they're infringing on our. We want to see the Foo Fighters too. Shut up.
Shut up. Get vaccinated and you can go in.
This stupid Delta variant is now rearing its ugly head all around because 30% of the assholes that live in this country don't want to get the fucking thing. And I was a lot more open to it like weeks ago, but now I'm getting a little. Now that it's 30%, it's aggravating me more because I'm a majority rules kind of guy.
Yeah.
That's why I was never upset that Trump won. I was never upset that Biden. I don't give a shit. Like if that's the direction we're going in, majority rules, that's our rules. So great for everybody. But now that we're up to 70% and everybody is fine, it's all working out okay. And now that we can,
the vaccine is doing its job.
we could legitimately see data of places where vaccines are high, numbers are extraordinarily low. It's like now, what are you waiting for?
What more proof do you need? 10 years from now, you want to know what the effects are? 30 years from now, when are you going to accept it?
So I was having a conversation with somebody. I'm gonna make this very quick because we got to wrap up. I was having a conversation with somebody, and they go, "I just don't want to get it." And I said to them, "Nobody wants to get this shit. You think I want to get this shit? It's like your duty. It's like part of the government ain't controlling you. You're not. Then you got people sticking keys to their forehead going, look, it made me magnetic. No, you greasy motherfucker. Take a shower.
Yeah. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Oh, look at this. And then the woman did it in court and she couldn't get it to stick.
And it's like, and I'm sure we have people that listen and are loyal to us, and I appreciate you, and you refuse to get it. I'm sorry to offend you, but I really feel like, again, much like the draft or any other kind of the crazy paying taxes, all the shit that we don't want to do, but we
wants
do.
to do them. You got to do that shit.
You just fucking do it.
I mean, and then you're going to, but it's my right to not do it. Yeah, it is. It's also your right to be an asshole to everybody you meet.
Again,
it's another right you have, but you don't do it.
And there are people out there with genuine medical concerns, for not having to get it, and
I get that.
You get a pass from me on that one.
Absolutely. If you're a doctor, the person you go to, your general practitioner says, "Don't get this vaccine because you got something going on that it might whatever." I get it. If your doctor says vaccine's not going to affect whatever you got, and vice versa, it's not going to, then maybe you want to get a second opinion. Go for a second opinion. Go for a third opinion.
Yeah.
They all tell you,
just
you're
fucking
fine,
go.
Get the vaccine.
Just fucking
get the
go.
vaccine. You don't know better than the doctor.
Yeah.
The doctor knows what he's talking about. The scientists know what they're talking about.
All right, Frankie C, the floating man. Take a look at this.
This is fantastic.
This is insane.
This, I could see being more widely accepted than flying cars. I feel like this is the direction we'd go. Besides flying, if we're not going the flying car route, this is the route. This is the route.
We're watching a guy who's literally standing on top of a drone, and he is floating through Times Square, similar to the way the Green Goblin did in Spider-Man, in the Spider-Man
That's
movie.
what I would wear. If I was this guy, I'd be wearing that costume.
He missed the opportunity. He's wearing black. That was a big mistake.
He's got a helmet on, which good for him. Safety first.
But credit Casey Neistat, famed YouTube vlogger. He did this a couple of years ago, but he was actually hanging from the drone. So he was underneath the drone.
Oh, see, no, that's not.
They built a drone powerful enough, though, to pull him up and do all these crazy stunts that he was doing. But this guy is literally balancing himself and standing on top of the drone. That is a new level.
This is amazing.
It's kind of crazy. And here's the weird part about this. You'd think this is going to help us move society forward, but literally this is just going to be the DoorDash people bringing me a McFlurry in a year from now.
Then
that's what we're going to be using this for.
Then I will sign up to be a DoorDash delivery guy because I want to do this.
I mean, it's great.
Why not?
Who doesn't want to go flying on a friggin' drone and
Now,
shit?
if you're standing underneath him, are you like caught in a windstorm? Probably.
I guess so, but it doesn't look like it's that powerful. I mean, also, I don't even know if he had permission to do this. I mean, it kind of just seems like he did it.
I mean, what's the what would the? It's not like he's breaking a law. What is he?
No, but if he's floating over somebody and the thing gives way and he crushes them and hurts them,
that's a big problem. That's a major issue.
I mean, you literally can't fly a drone in the city anymore without getting it registered with the FAA, and they're literally not letting anybody do it.
That's true. What is he? He's got to be like 10 feet off the ground, 15 feet off the
ground.
ground.
Yeah, he's flying.
And he's moving. He's not going slow. He's going, looks like 15, 20 miles an hour, maybe. I'd say 15
I'm going to make a promise to you and the entire audience. The day that we get access to this, we will do a podcast flying around, and it will be amazing.
What if this thing costs like $3,000?
Well, we'll wait till it gets cheaper. We'll have to finance it.
There we go. We're accepting donations. I'm selling my art for $3,000.
If it costs $3,000, we're gonna hire Hunter Biden to paint us a bunch of shit. I'll tell you that right now.
I love it.
The other solution, hopefully we sell a bunch of merch there. ShopAnthonyOnAir.com. There you go. Buy some t-shirts so we could do a floating fucking podcast one day.
That'd be awesome. Podcast from the sky.
That would be fantastic. All right, we got to leave it there, Frankie C. J-Sabs, by the way, I don't know what's what here. We could take this for what it is, but she got that young lady fired over at Dunkin' Donuts, and then we lost track of the Dunkin' Donuts girl, and now we haven't heard from J-Sabs since. So I don't want to jump to conclusions here.
We don't know. It's all speculation. She could just be taking a day off from the podcast.
Right.
She could be unavailable for another reason.
Right. But her family and friends have not heard from her for 3 days, and I am pretty sure she's dead.
You can't rule it out.
I'm not going to rule it out.
You know, because if that's the case, this podcast is now evidence.
She's either dead or just ignoring me. Both are strong possibilities.
Equally viable. I can't discount either one of those. That's fine.
All right. You got anything else?
No. Have a great week, everyone.
Good start to the week. We got a lot of great stuff planned for the rest of the week here on the podcast, of course. So make sure you're subscribed.
Hit that thumbs up.
Thumbs up, Facebook, YouTube. If you're watching, appreciate it. If you're just listening and you listen on Apple Podcasts, rate and review. You can also follow us on Spotify, which is great. Some buddies of mine were telling me that Spotify is going to be introducing a live audio feature, which is going to be interesting. Yeah.
Cool.
So radio
buddies outside of the show.
Well, I got some people. I know some people in the thing.
I don't believe it.
Some guy just messaged me on LinkedIn.
Was it the furniture guy?
No, it wasn't the furniture guy.
Dan, I think.
It wasn't Dan.
It was Dan.
Oh, I got to give credit to Uncle Jamie. Okay. By the way, we talked about on a previous episode that I've never been to a garden party. And then we talked about the difference between cannoli chips and cannolis.
Right.
And for Father's Day, I was invited to...
Don't tell me you went to a garden party.
My uncle's rooftop, where he had lots of herbs growing and raspberries and it was a garden party up on the top of his roof where he lives.
Nice.
And not only that, let me cover my other uncle's face here because he doesn't like to live on the internet. Not only that, but look what's in my hand. He served up cannoli chips.
Cannoli chips with cannoli cream.
And to get even more classy, look closely at the shirt he's wearing. He is wearing the Not Now Anthony on Air shirt.
That's the one, baby.
By the way, this is how my wife looks at me all the time with utter disappointment and disgust. So
I'm aware of that look. I've seen that.
So credit Uncle Jamie, who is by far the most supportive family member that I've ever had.
You rock, Uncle Jamie.
Yes, he does. Thanks, Uncle Jamie. All right, we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks so much for watching and or listening. AnthonyOnAir.com has all our links. Wears the shirt proudly, by the way. Yeah, proud to wear it.
I got to get one of those shirts.
Usually my family is utterly embarrassed by me, and people have made up stories about how they don't know me. But Uncle Jamie...
Love Uncle Jamie.
He's a gem.
Good